Welcome back to the Old Bull and Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast, where the Patriots come to eat your souls. Good job today, boys, down in New Orleans. It wasn't pretty. I definitely have some gripes about the game, but hey, we'll take a road win any way we can get one. Patriots now 4-2. So let's see. As you can see, I am a victim of elderly neglect once again. Young Cav leaving me here with a broken hip on the side of my bed, but that's all right. I'm going to do my best to man the fort all by myself. Kind of a strange game, really strange game. It felt like it shouldn't have been this tough. There's a reason why. There's a few reasons why it was this tough, but a lot of things to like here. Um, Brable, great job challenging that call at the end of the game. Like, to run that clock down where we could just take a knee. That was absolutely brilliant on his part. Good for him. Even I didn't pick up on that, and usually I do on those in game. And you know, May was just awesome in the first half. Second half, I don't know. I wasn't crazy about the play calling. We got to do something about our offensive line's run blocking capability. They just cannot open anything up. So that's becoming a constant issue on this team. The guy who's filling in for our defensive coordinator, he had a rough game today. Really rough game. Um, that first bomb to Olave to open the game. What are we doing there? Duggar, who is one of the worst cover safeties in the league. Let's put him one on one against the other team's best wide receiver on the outside and give him no safety help. Who's New Orleans had half a brain, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, Kyle Douglas out there against Olave. Let's just throw it past him." And sure enough, he blew right past Duggar, 53 yards, easy 3 points right there. That is completely on the coaching staff. When I first it was Duggar, and I'm like, "Oh, Duggar, what do you?" And then that's not Duggar's fault. That is 100% on coaching. That was absolutely atrocious defensive play call. And the defensive coordinator, all they needed to do was take over those dump passes over the middle. Like, Rattler is a game manager. He's not throwing the ball down the field. He did in that one instance because, again, you put one of the worst cover safeties on their best wide receiver. But otherwise, they got so many yards from just dumping the ball over the middle to their running backs. It was infuriating to watch all game long. The defense was just horrible, horrible in the first half. They definitely stiffened up and did better in the second half, but let's take a break from the negative stuff and talk about the positives. I mean, wow, Drake May in that first half was just dynamic, absolutely amazing. Buying time in the pocket, finding guys open. Good job by Pop Douglas. He got robbed of a second touchdown, which, let me get to that. The old Bulls seen a lot of games, and I am hard pressed to remember a football game that was more suspiciously called by referees than this one. It was jarring, unbelievable. That pass interference call to eliminate that second touchdown by Douglas, the announcers did not know what to say. They brought on the game expert, the referee expert. He didn't know what to say about that. Super suspicious. And it didn't end there. There was a bunch of other really bizarre calls that did not make any sense. The 2-point conversion, he was clearly in, and they called that, and they had to go to replay to figure that out. It's very bizarre. A lot of suspicious stuff was called this game. It really did not feel right. It felt like that referee who called that offensive pass interference on Diggs, on Douglas' side, that guy should legit be investigated. Not only did he call it, which did not exist, he threw the flag after the play was over. that is so, as the kids say, sus. It's insane. And, I was out at the bar down the street because, they got a good stream. I'm not even able to make notes. There was a lot of all very suspicious call. My man, Tim Hilliard, go Pats. Absolutely, Tim. The officiating was just, it was insane. It really was. And I mean, there's a million reasons why I'm glad the Patriots won, obvious, but I'm so glad they won this game because if they lost and I cry about the officials, it looks like I'm just sour grapes. So they won, and I feel like that is a major point of what the hell was that? There was some really, really suspicious stuff in this game. So Tim Hilliard, only calls they seemed to get right were replays where New York was involved. Yeah, I mean, it was super suspicious. And then Diggs had another offensive pass interference call where he just put his hand on the guy's shoulder, didn't push him, and they still called him. And then on the next play, May throws a bomb to Hollins down the sideline. Hollins gets his arm grabbed when the ball's about 5 feet from him, and no call there as well. So thank goodness the boys pulled this off. Because man, I tell you, with the refereeing, I would have been extra salty. I mean, I'm already salty enough when the Patriots lose. Never mind if that was the case. So Tim Hilliard, absolutely agree with that. You know, and you know, other things I liked. I did like how the defense kind of stiffened up it in the second half. The adjustments, Vrabel needs to get more involved. With our defensive coordinator out, he needs to get more involved on helping the defense out because adjustments were coming in way too late into the game. Tim Hilliard, Vrabel showed masterclass in clock management at the end to wind the clock down to 2 minutes. Absolutely. There's absolutely no chance Mayo makes that call. I don't know if you missed it, Tim, but I said right when I came on, what a brilliant, what a brilliant challenge that was. Because even usually I pick up on stuff like that, little things. And I'm like, wait a minute, what is he challenging? And immediately I'm like, oh, he's challenging if he was ruled down in play. And sure enough, the first replay they saw, I go, his knee. His knee touched. What a call by Vrabel. No more plays needed. Just take a knee. Kurt Ram, my man Kurt. Love you. Miss you, bud. Vrabel's in-game knowledge, pretty impressive, especially end of the game. Absolutely. And Kurt Rams siding with Tim Hilliard was thinking the same thing. That was just brilliant. But I do want to see Vrabel get more involved in the defense. Like, guys, those like dumping the ball over the middle to the running back that the Saints were doing was constantly killing us. There needs to be an in-game adjustment there to take that away and make that kid uncomfortable. We did not make Rattler uncomfortable all game. He just everything was in 10 yards. Like, I'm not sure where the defensive adjustment were. They just didn't seem to. It wasn't like the Saints were running the ball all over us, so we had to bite on play action. It was just everything within 10 yards, and we were just playing too far off the receivers, I felt. We're just giving the kid, like, too many opportunities to just get a 5-yard pass here, 7-yard pass here, 3-yard pass here. We couldn't get him in 3rd and long in the first half, and it felt like there were a little bit more adjustments in the 4th quarter because they didn't come in the 3rd quarter because he just kept dumping it, running back, pass protection, make a quick block, and just, go past the line of scrimmage and then dump it off to him. Easy pass, easy 10 yards. They finally took that away in the 4th quarter. That needs to come earlier in the game. I really wish that Vrabel would kind of pay more attention until we get our defensive coordinator back. That's if he comes back this season. Pay more attention to the defensive side. Josh McDaniels, my old pet peeve of his. Oh my goodness, he did this too much when he had Brady and even when he had Mac Jones. Running the ball on 3rd and medium to long, like 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 10. He used to do that way too much, and I had not seen him do it this year, and he did it on 3rd and 7, and it was a disaster. Absolutely atrocious. He's got to get away from that. Like, unless you're dominating the other team running the ball, That shouldn't even be considered on 3rd and 7. Get the hell out of here with that. Tim Hilliard, already more successful than last season numbers wise. Well, same amount of wins, but it's going, it feels pretty good, Tim. Last year was 3 wins plus a gift from Buffalo. Technically, you are right there, my friend. They have earned 4 legitimate wins already. It's a good point. You're right. So I will concede you got that point correct, and that is the case because that last win was a killer. We could have the number 1 overall pick, meaning we could have traded down, still got Campbell, and got like a first rounder next year and an extra second rounder, probably the draft that just passed. So, that gift win from Buffalo was that we had against Buffalo was an absolute disaster. But oh well, it's past us. And again, the old bull. Again, I'm gonna pat myself on the back. That Henderson draft pick, early second round, does not look good. And it's not the kid's fault. There's not necessarily holes there for him, but he's like any other running back. If there's no openings, he's not going anywhere. The NFL is too good. You just don't take running backs in the first 3 rounds, especially early second round, where that's almost the same as a late first round pick. The kid's not bad. I'm not even if he turns out to be great, you don't take running backs there. I would have rather have Luther, an impact pass rusher. There was a cover corner that lasted to the mid-second round who was projected to go like 10th overall, but he had like a kind of an injury. Teams were scared. I would take a chance on a guy like that. You throw a guy like that across from Gonzalez, and you have 2 legit lockdown corners. I mean, now you're really talking. Carlton Davis, we got our once a game Carlton Davis injury scare. This dude, every game, down, injured. I'm glad he's like coming back all the time because he's got a knock on wood. He's got an injury history that you read about. And even though he's handsy and he gets called for penalties and he gets burnt on occasion, he's still a good corner. You don't want that guy injured. It would just be nice to go a full game without the Carlton Davis uh, injury scare. That's for sure. We had a few of them this game. Landry, oh, that would have been bad. It looked like his knee got twisted, and thank goodness, knock on wood, he was okay. Marcus Jones, starting to come an impact player for us, our third corner. He he had an injury scare too, so it looks like we came out of this game unscathed. Knock on wood. Thank you very much. And I didn't see any scores. Guys, we got any updates on the Colts and Jacksonville? Because it looked like they were losing, and that would mean we're tied with a lot of teams towards the top of the conference. Unfortunately, Buffalo has a soft schedule like us, so I do not really see them losing anytime soon. So we gotta hope that they just kind of crap the bed one game here or there, and we can take care of business at home against them when we play. So let me see. Okay, good job, Seahawks. You beat the Jaguars. So that's cool. We're tied with the Jaguars and Colts. The Colts pulled it out. That's a shame. So they're still at the top of the conference. That's a bummer, but that's all right. Another great win by our boys. Three wins in a row. Pretty sure we haven't done that since 22. And I felt like this was our toughest game out of the next 4. We are in great shape. Knock on wood once again. The old Bulls, a little superstitious. We should take care of business next week at Tennessee. They are not a good team. It's Vrabel's coming back party. I would hope his players are going to show up for that. Then you come home against 2 very winnable teams. Cleveland, complete crap show. Handed it was in the background. I saw them basically hand the game to Pittsburgh about 20 times, even though I was only catching parts of it. It was so we should take care of Cleveland, no problem, especially with a rookie quarterback. And then the Falcons, I'm not impressed with the Falcons. We should take care of them. Guys, there's a really good chance we're going to be 7-2. Holy cow, would we love that before the season starts. Kurt Ram Jones will get lost in the mix today, but he really played pretty well today. Jones was good last week against the Bills, and he was excellent as a punt returner, obviously, against Carolina. He was like dynamo setting records. So he's short, Kurt. He does get burnt on, when a quarterback makes a good high throw to the receiver he's covering, it's almost an automatic catch because he's just so short. But he's for the most part, he's usually on the receiver's hip. Sometimes he gets a hand in there. He had a big sack today. Big sack on a blitz. He got there. We had trouble generating pressure on Rattler because he was getting the ball out so quick because we were giving him these easy, quick throws. We're getting burnt on the slants in the first half. And then it was a mix of the first half and the third quarter of him just dumping the ball over the middle of the running backs. It was just absolutely destroying us and cutting us up. So I mean, Jones has turned into a pretty good little third corner, little slot corner. Remember, covering the slot is harder than covering a wide receiver on the boundaries, on the sidelines, because you have the boundary, the out of bounds as like an extra defender. When you're covering a guy there, they can't go right because out of bounds is on the right. So you have to just cover them by the sideline and towards the middle of the field. When you cover a guy in the slot, they could go left, right, deep. So, that's not the easiest position to cover as slot receiver. So I think Jones does a good job of that, but he gets burnt because of his height a lot, Kurt. Absolutely on that one. And let's see, anything else I need to touch on? Oh, Bradbury. I don't mean to make this like more of a negative show because it's a great win. Second time this year, Bradbury. Dude, stop with the bad shotgun snaps. Second time this year, just atrocious snap that May had no shot on whatsoever. And Kurt Ram, that play, him and Davis got hurt on. He closed well. Yeah, and I don't know if you missed my little segment there, Kurt. Can we go one game without our Carlton Davis injury scare? Like, I think literally every game they've had to stop play and help him off the field from an injury scare. A guy who's injury prone, who we do need, it's just terrible, nerve wracking. I'm hoping we can at some point get a game where we don't have that. Absolutely, and yeah, on the boundaries, Kurt. It's I almost wish at times they would use Gonzalez a little more in the slot. You know, third and medium, when the other team has a really good slot receiver, it wouldn't hurt, I think, to throw Gonzalez in that position. See if he can blanket that guy and make the quarterback throw kind of deep to the outside, which is a much tougher throw than dumping it off over the middle. So, yeah, Bradbury, get your crap together. Stop with those atrocious shotgun snaps. Weird because it feels like he never has a bad shotgun snap. It's either they're perfect or they're absolutely so bad that May has no shot of getting them, like the two he's done this year. And that was on fourth down. But the reason why it was 4th and 7 because Josh McDaniels with a terrible uh, run play call on 3rd and 7 that was just on a day where we once again cannot open up holes. It's so weird. It just goes to show you can't take much from preseason because on the preseason, it looked like we were going to be a good running team. It looked like, you know, uh, Wilson and Campbell were just dominant run blockers, and we were opening holes and going to be great. And that has not been the case. And it looked like we are going to be a terrific run team. Nope, not even close. And they've actually been pretty good pass blockers. And they struggled in that in the preseason. We were still worried. So that's completely flipped. And in the preseason, it looked like we could not stop the run to save our lives. And there's been a couple moments like the opening drive against Pittsburgh where they were gashing us on the ground. And that was a concern of mine going into the season was us stopping the run. And we've been terrific in that. So, I mean, it just goes to show you can't go by anything in the damn preseason. It is just completely useless. And let's see, going close to a half hour. I don't know, guys. Anything else you want me to cover? I mean, what a great win. I felt like if there was some tweaks by McDaniels, it didn't have to be this close. We could have used one more field goal, and we had a couple opportunities. We're at midfield, and Kyle Williams, one play where he was open and it felt like May threw it behind him because I think he wanted him to sit, and Williams kept cutting in the middle, and that was a disaster because that would have got us a first down. That would have got us in field goal range, and that could have made it so we didn't have to sweat that game out. Chisholm was unfortunately activated just for kickoff returns. I don't think he got any offensive snaps. I did look for him. I didn't look for him on every play, but I looked for him on most of them, and I didn't see him out there. It would have been nice, but I was hoping the Patriots could have turned this into a blowout because then I think we would have seen a little bit of Chisholm with May to get them some chemistry because I don't think they had any plays in the preseason where May was throwing to Chisholm, unless I'm wrong on that. So, Kurt Ram, if May dropped the ball on that one run, oh, good point. I think he ran into Henderson. That would have been butt fumble part. Oh, so I swear to God, Kurt, I said that to my group at the table. I go, that was exactly like the butt fumble. Exactly like the butt fumble, except May held on to the ball. And there was a play where on May snuck it, and I think he fumbled, but he gained it right away. So there was like no alarm by anybody. Oof, that would have been terrible. It was in the fourth quarter. It was like third down and like inches, and May snuck it and got it in there. Tim Hilliard, let's keep the train rolling. Yes, we cannot lose to Tennessee next week. Not in Vrabel's homecoming, like back to where he started his head coaching career. Tennessee is a rebuilding team with a rookie quarterback. I would hope the players are going to show up for Mr. Vrabel on that. So next week really should be as close to a lock as you can get, even though there's no such thing in the NFL. Knock on wood. And after that, we coming home. We got to start establishing our home turf, which feels like we were on the cusp of after that Carolina game. Bad Carolina team came in, and we just trucked them at home. We need to continue that against Cleveland. Then we need to continue that against Atlanta the week after. And guess what? The road killing Patriots are coming to Tampa Bay. The chance the old bull might be going to that game, we'll have to see. Hopefully he doesn't get in any fights because I am pretty animated at those games and I don't start trouble, but people just get I get on their nerves because I cheer so hard for the team, for the Patriots. So that could be fun. And yeah, I don't know. Anything else, fellas, before I'm ready to sign off? The young calf, he said he would maybe try to pop back in. Of course not. I'm still with my broken hip lying on the floor because my son neglects me, his old man. And yeah, I think I've covered everything I'm willing to cover. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't, please subscribe on our YouTube. The YouTube's the big deal. We love everyone tuning in on Facebook, but if you can subscribe on YouTube, watch us on YouTube, like our YouTube, like this show, make a comment, helps our algorithm. We always love you for that. Appreciate that. And all right, guys. So I'll see you pregame next week. All right. Kurt Ram, thank you for helping me out here. And you too, Tim Hilliard. It's always easier when we have some fan participation. So love you, bud. Hope to see you again on my next Massachusetts trip. All right. Everyone take care. Go Patriots.